What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Criminal Minds Season 12, Episode 16, Assistance is Futile instead of Resistance. It doesn't make any sense at all. So, we have, obviously, two parts of this. The smaller part is Reed in the prison, which is very unfortunate because that's honestly the story I want to see more of. But the case itself was pretty interesting because this mother comes into the precinct and she's telling us about her son who apparently is the one that the serial killer that they're looking for, called the Bone Crusher. And so they've been finding all these victims with their bones crushed and stuff, and she found like all of these notebooks from her son and this mural that he painted all about breaking bones and stuff. So she is sure that her son is the Bone Crusher. And so they go through the case. Torres is talking to her, but seems like something may be a little bit off about her. And so at the end, we find out that apparently she's actually been the one behind it all the entire time. You know, she's the one that's been controlling the son. She's the one that enjoys seeing the bones being crushed. And her son was just kind of the avenue that she used to sort of get off on that because she knew her son wanted to kill. And so that's how it, or at least, you know, that would be a better story, just like, you know, Bones the other night, where I just created a better story than the actual story itself. Isn't that always fun? You know, whenever you're watching something and instantly you think of an entirely better story than what they show you. Isn't that great? It's, no, the mom had nothing to do with it at all. She found her son's books. That was it. She helped them find the son. That was it. No interesting twist to it. Nothing interesting about it at all. It's just the mom comes in. She suspects her son. Her son did it. Case closed. Because who cares about storytelling anymore, right? We want to see straightforward stories that are just here. You think one thing, that's exactly what happened. Boom, boom, done. That's it. there's no investigating by the team. There's no deductive reasoning done by the team. It's just the mom comes in, tells them that she suspects her son, and the son did it. It wasn't somebody else. It wasn't like the son was also a serial killer who was also breaking bones, and there were actually two. No, that was it. He was the Bone Crusher. Case closed. Piece of cake. Why on earth would you possibly do such an easy story? Especially because it took up most of the episode. If you wanted to make it a simple case, then show us more of Reed in prison with a simple case on the outside. Show us more of what actually is interesting. Something that we want to see. Who wants to see a case where what you think at the beginning is how it ends? You know, the simple reasoning that happens at the beginning, oh yeah, that's it. There's no plot twist, there's no sort of surprise at the end. No, it just that's it. I have nothing else to say about the case. It was dumb. I will say there was one scene that pissed me off because I've talked about Walker and how just awful he is and how he's not I don't know if he's not a good actor or if they told him to sound like this, but I've talked before about his voice and just how there's no emotion in it at all. And it's one thing, like I said, whenever they're doing the profile and they're telling it to the police, his voice is perfect for that because it's just spouting exposition. But whenever he's actually having to have conversations with a team, he still sounds the same. He sounds like a lifeless robot. He just sounds like this the entire time. There's hardly any inflection in his voice at all. And you have to wonder if maybe there's anything even going on inside of him, or if he doesn't have a heart, or if he's actually a robot in disguise as a human. Because this is all he sounds like the entire episode. And I'm just like, this is awful. Well, as if the show knew that some people didn't really like the new guy, they're just like, I know, let's have Garcia make a joke about how his sultry whatever tones, I can't remember what she called it, baritone voice or something like that. She was talking about, oh, it just calms me. I'm just like, it does? Well, maybe on the inside of the show it does, but on the outside, as a fan of the show, it pisses me the hell off because I don't understand why we couldn't get a better team member. I mean, even Aisha Tyler is doing a pretty good job. She's not great. And Adam Rodriguez as Luke, he's doing pretty good. They're not the best members of the team ever, but you know what? They're interesting enough. You know, watching Luke Alves in this episode have to talk to the mom, he actually has a personality. Walker he's just this guy who can talk really, really monotone. That's about it. So anyway, enough of the case. It was stupid, it was dumb, it was boring, and it took up most of the episode. The Reed stuff, I don't really know where it's going, and honestly, I hope next episode we pick up from where we left off and we find out that there is something else going on. Because knowing Reed, he's really smart. It feels like he'd have some sort of plan in mind, because he was talking to the guy that was helping him. I can't remember his name right now, but the FBI agent that was also in prison. He was talking to him, and apparently they've just kind of been hanging out, and he's sort of been protecting Reed. And Reed sees that guy that was banging his head against the window trying to get himself a concussion. He's been trying to help him as well. And so these guys that are apparently like running the prison come up to him, break a few of his ribs, put him in the infirmary. And so Reed, of course, wants to help him. Well, he goes up to one of the guards, and the guard stops him. He's like, "Where are you going, inmate?" And he's like, "I'm just getting some water." And then he's like, "Get back to your seat." And so he like leans over and whispers something in his ear, and then goes and sits down. And then his friend is like, "Look, if you're not going to learn the rules of this place, I'm just going to leave you alone." And so leaves. Well, the episode ends with two guys that hurt the guy that Reed was trying to help. They have been watching him this entire time, and so they come in and say, "Where you going, snitch?" And so they start beating him up. And all I can think is that's how it ends. All I can think is Reed has to have some sort of plan in place, right? Like he wouldn't just let himself get beat up for nothing. He wouldn't just go tell the cop and be like, "Okay, yeah, that'll be enough," because he's not that dumb. He's a super genius. I understand he wants to help, but knowing Reed, he has to have some sort of plan in place. He has to. It can't have just been he went up to the guard and said, "Hey, those two guys over there, they're the ones that put the guy in the infirmary," because that's just dumb. That's just asking to get the crap kicked out of you. So Reed must have something in play, right? Like that's honestly that would be the only way that this storyline could be ruined right now, is if Reed actually has an idea of, "Oh, if I just tell the guard, they'll help me, right? Because the guards they're upstanding guys, they'll help me, right?" You did see the guard from the last episode, right, Reed? Like he hates you because you're an FBI agent. Yeah, they'll help you for sure. So yeah, all in all though, I want to know what's going to happen to Reed. I want to know what's going to happen to him. And so the fact that his story was such a small part of this episode is really upsetting. And honestly, there wasn't much progression. That's pretty much all that happened was the guy gets beat up that he's trying to protect. He says something to the guard. The guys that beat up the other guy think he's a snitch, and they start beating him up, and then the episode ends. So hopefully the next episode is more about Reed and less on some stupid, boring case. But I don't know. I'm not in control of it, unfortunately. So we'll see what's going to happen. But until then, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What did you like and dislike about this episode? Let me know. We can talk about it and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe to future Criminal Minds reviews, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.